Okay, today's notes are an introduction to evaluating expressions. All right, let's have a little refresher on what the difference is between an expression and an equation. Think about that for a second, maybe pause, and I'll give you the answer. The difference is really simple. Equations have equal signs. Expressions don't. Okay, let me give you some examples, and I'd like you to write some of these examples down. Examples of expressions: 2 plus 7, 3x minus 5. Okay, 4x times 3y minus x. You get the idea. Examples of equations. Notice they have equal signs. 2 plus 7 equals 9. It's an equation. 3x minus 4, or sorry, 3x equals 14. That's an equation. Okay, so pause, write those down, please. Okay, you don't need to write this down. It's just something I want to talk about really quick. What does it mean to simplify an expression? Okay, you go back to that, what I just showed you, some expressions. Simplifying 2 plus 7 would be to write it as 9. Okay, it's a simplified version of 2 plus 7. Okay, the rest really can't be simplified, but sometimes we can simplify them with variables, things that you'll learn as we go through algebra. Okay, but just making it simpler, reducing. Evaluating an expression, that's what the title of the notes were, and that's what we're really going to talk about, is how do we evaluate an expression. So when we're evaluating an expression, we're talking about expressions that include variables, and we're evaluating them with the variables having a certain value. Again, you don't need to write this down. Okay, you do need to write this down, though. I want to evaluate the expression 4x, and I'm telling you that x equals 7. Okay, so I'm just going to evaluate 4x. Now, I have to understand, what does 4x mean? It means 4 times x. Okay, so real simple, I'm going to evaluate that by substituting 7 for x. Okay, and so when I evaluate an expression, I substitute that that value into the variable. So instead of writing x, I write 7. Now I always, when I substitute, I put it in parentheses. That's a habit you need to get into. Okay, notice the difference if I don't put parentheses. Okay, does that look like 4 times 7? No, it looks like 47. Okay, and so that isn't something we want. Okay, so just get in the habit anytime you substitute to put it in parentheses. So again, 4 times 7. Now I need to simplify that expression, so I'm evaluating it and simplifying it. 4 times 7 is 28. Okay? Okay, fairly simple. This next one is a little bit tougher. So now I'm going to evaluate this expression for a is equal to 2 and b is equal to negative 4. Okay, so I'm going to substitute 2 in for a. I'm going to substitute 2 in for a again. Now, I'm going to put it in parentheses, even though you probably don't need to, but just a habit you want to get into, especially you got negative numbers here. Okay, a little bit easier to tell what it says. Okay, so now I can then use the order of operations to simplify this. Okay, parentheses 2 plus negative 4, that's negative 2. Okay, over here I've got 4 times 2, which is 8. Okay, I did 2 steps in one, no big deal. 8 minus 3 times negative 2. Now I'm gonna rewrite that as 8 plus negative 3 times negative 2. Okay, just easier. Now you can just change that if you want. That's subtraction. Okay, so then negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6, 8 plus 6. But that's a common mistake where people do 8 minus 3 first. No, you got to do the multiplication first. So 8 plus 6, which is equal to 14. Okay, probably not going to have time to show you the next one. Might be, I'd say, a good idea, though, for you to try this one. Let me show you how you substitute it. Okay, square root of y, so the square root of 49 plus 5 times x squared, so 5 times, and I'm squaring negative 3. Oops. Okay, so it looks like that. Actually, you know what? Sorry, that's not right. Looks like that. You're putting the x in parentheses, and then it's keeping the squared out. So, my fault. Okay, so why don't you try that one? I don't have time to show it to you because I only get 5 minutes on these. So try that one, and I'll see you tomorrow.